Hey guys, it's Ari. I decided to make a makeup video channel because people always ask me how I do my makeup every day. And I just started the NYX lipstick challenge on my Snapchat, and a lot of my friends were asking me, like, do you have a YouTube page? And I was like, no, I haven't done it yet. But I just really love makeup. I'm not a professional. I don't know anything like that. I do know what works on certain skin tones, what doesn't. I can't really do any videos on different skin tones, obviously, because I'm doing it on myself. I learned to do makeup from being in shows and things like that, musical theater. I've done guys' makeup, I've done girls' makeup, I've been hired to do people's makeup. But basically, the look I decided to do for my first video is just basic, everyday, which is basically what I'm wearing right now. Very light, very neutral. I don't really like to go too dark and crazy with my makeup unless I'm feeling that. But right now, yeah, this is just a basic, everyday kind of look. The lipstick color is the only thing that's probably not basic and everyday. But I really hope you guys enjoy, and if you do, I'll keep making more of them. Maybe do like a spring look, a school look, things like that, just for fun. More edgy look, just depending on what you guys want. Leave me comments, subscribe if you like it. Alright, step one, I'm going to put my hair in a ponytail so it's out of my face and out of my way. I don't want any makeup getting in my hair, so it's just a good idea to tie it up. Next, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Medium. Now, normally I would use this in a lighter shade just to highlight basically and lighten up those areas, but this is an everyday look, so I want something a little more natural and dewy. I'm going to place that on anything I want either hidden or to be lightened up. So I'm going to use that on the bridge of my nose, under my eye, a little bit on my forehead, and a little bit on my chin. So basically that is where I'm going to place it for this look. Next, I'm going to use a damp beauty blender to basically blend all those little areas in. Now, I use the tip of this beauty blender because I tend to like that it's a little bit on the pointier side and skinnier at the tip. So that way I can get to those hard to reach places like in the corner of my eye. I tend to like this one better than the actual Beauty Blender brand because I find that it's softer and it's also just easier to get in those places that I need them to do the blending. Now I'm just going to keep doing that for a little bit just to make sure that it's completely blended out and not, strange anywhere. So that's the Beauty Blender. The next step, I'm going to use the Catrice highlighting powder in the shade Champagne Campaign. I'm going to use my finger, which I know makeup lovers everywhere are probably dying because using your fingers is like the worst thing ever. But this shade is actually very light and very hard to apply with a brush. I've tried. So if you use your finger, it tends to come out a little bit more pigmented, which is what I want, and I like this shade as a eyeshadow rather than a highlighter because it is so sheer. I find that as an eyeshadow in this neutral, natural look gives you that bit of glow that you need, but it's also not super overpowering. Now the next step, I'm going to use a blending brush with the Tarte palette in the shade Fame from that palette in my outer corner and my crease. This is just to give my eye some definition so that it's a little bit different than the rest of my face. It also just adds to the look just a little bit more and defines the shape of my eye. So also just so you know, I am blending the color, and if you notice, I literally only touch the powder once for each eye, and that's just to make sure that there is enough color, but I also want it to blend towards the center. The next thing I'm going to use is a very cheap eyeliner that I got from Walgreens, which is Wet n Wild. It just broke on my hand, which you're seeing me freak out and get upset about. But okay, so now that I got that eyeliner off my hand, I'm going to show you what the tip looks like. It's basically a felt tip style eyeliner. So I kind of got it a little bit on my phone since it exploded, but I kind of like this one. I like liquid usually. Basically what I'm going to do is draw a really thin line on my eye to make sure that it lines up with the wing. I do like winging my eyeliner because my eyes are almond shaped and they're kind of my favorite feature. So I like to accentuate them just a little bit. I don't want a very dramatic cat eye because I find it's just too much for an everyday look. I do end up with one looking very dramatic and the other one looking a little bit more soft, but that's just, I don't know why, but that's just how it tends to happen for me. One eye is always easier than the other. As you can see, I'm having an easier time with the one eye than the other one. Now I'm just kind of looking at them, making sure that they're, you know, somewhat even. So, see, I kind of went, they are kind of, a little bit. Now I'm going to go in with an eyelash curler and just simply curl my lashes up. My eyelashes are very straight, so I actually do need to curl them. Not everyone does. I just find it a lot easier to do that instead of, you know, having to deal with it being straight out rather than curled up. I want you to be able to see that I have eyelashes. So I do this at least, I think, 3 times on each eye, just to make sure that they're curled enough and that they stay that way. Now I'm going to go in with the Ulta Plumping Lash Eye Mascara, and that's just because I like this one. I got it actually as a gift for Christmas, actually, and I really like it. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's a little more natural, and I got a little bit on my eyebrow, which I noticed after the fact, so I kind of just like wiped it off a little bit. Yeah, it's a little irritating, but I wasn't sure if it was like still there or not, so now you're seeing me try to figure out how to get it off. And I did get a little bit on my eye as well, but I just wiped it off real quick and we're all good. So now I'm going to go with my Ulta palette that I got for free. It was a gift. It has a translucent powder, a bronzer, and a highlighter. Now, since this is a natural look and I actually don't like the bronzer that they gave me, I didn't use their bronzer. And I didn't use the highlighter either because the highlighter doesn't show up on my face. But the translucent powder I do use, and I use the back end of my beauty blender to dab it on my face. Now I'm going to use a butter bronzer, which smells amazing. If you've never used it, I highly recommend it. I'm going to use a brush that I have from the Sonia Kashuk palette kit, and I'm just going to basically use it in the hollows of my cheeks, a little bit on the sides of my forehead, and the tip of my forehead, and under my chin as well, just to make sure my face is a little carved. Now this is not a contour, this is basically just to warm my face up. I also use it on the sides of my nose just because I like to darken that spot up. And basically, just know the difference between a contour and a face, basically bronzer. I don't like to contour on a normal day. I feel like it's too much. So I'm just going to use this brush that I have. It's contour brush from the Sonia Kashuk palette as well. And this one basically, for your cheekbones, you want to blend up. Notice how I'm only going in upward strokes, not downward. For your forehead, you want to move towards the side. When you're on those sides, you want to move it towards your side. Same thing with the top of your forehead. You want to move it up. Your chin, you want to move it inwards towards the center of your face. Now I'm going to go in with that Tarte palette again with the shade Abstract, which is a blush. I'm going to smile so it goes on the apples of my cheekbones, which is exactly where I want it to be. So it just basically gives me a little bit of a flush, and I do put a little bit on the center of my nose. Now I'm going in with a Butter Lipstick by NYX, which is the 14th color from the Advent calendar. It's in the shade Rootbeer Float. I really like this color. It is not an everyday color that I would use because of the challenge. That's why I'm using it. If you don't know anything about it, check out my Snapchat for more information. Also, that is basically done every single day. I'll put the link in the description. So this is the final look, and I really hope you guys like it.